We'll be proudly sponsored by the little marionette. No, it's not camping.
It's not a billy.
It looks like a camp. Is that something you put on the fire?
I borrowed his pressure cleaner the other day. He had to come over and ask to borrow it back.
Adam?
Hey Buzz, I've got you live on the podcast here with Readie and Dave because we had a listener question saying they were having Buzzy withdrawals.
Just breaking news, boys. We've just received a text message from Buzz that shows he's taken a photo of his Ryobi lithium battery mower.
Have a look at this. It's been a long day.
Already.
Yeah. Hello, welcome to the Daily Telegraph NRL Podcast. Adam Mobbs here with Brent Reid, David Riccio, and 3 coffees at very early in the morning, which probably shows you where we're at.
On me again.
Yeah, you're a good man, Readie.
Do you have a coffee machine at home?
I do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, but I like to buy one.
Yeah, I know. But
I still have one in the morning at home. Then I'll go and generally plot my day over a coffee somewhere.
Yeah, are you a pod? Like the pod?
Yeah, got to pop one.
Oh, you don't put
if
you're
not
not beans?
Espresso, please.
You don't do the beans?
Something for the Reed man. Too much work, the beans. You got to grind them yourself.
Yeah.
Isn't that a hassle?
What have you got,
one of those
Monty?
cheap machines that cost like $200.
No. Well, I've only got into coffee the last couple of years, and I've got one that.
Oh, you're a late bloomer.
Yeah, and you press the button and it does everything. It whips it up. It comes through. It's
What's
terrific.
your preferred bean?
Well, my neighbour.
Can I say my brother-in-law? He used to like a Merlot bean. You know Merlot?
Yeah.
You know Merlot?
No.
Oh, okay.
M-E-R-L-O.
Yeah.
Right, not L-O-T and
Yeah.
red wine and.
What's your preferred? What do you go for?
Well, my neighbour actually works for Victoria. So
now we're talking.
I know a guy.
Hello, mates, rates.
I'm like.
Where's your preferred destination of being? Ethiopian? What do you
No,
like?
it has to be sustainably. But can I tell you, my neighbour is. I figured out the other day, I'm basically the Homer Simpson to his Ned Flanders. I borrow all his gear.
Yeah.
I borrowed his pressure cleaner the other day. He had to come over and ask to borrow it back.
You're like Kramer.
Yeah.
Do you go and steal food as well, or what?
No, well, he delivers the beans, so it's like you with the coffees. I'll never be able to catch up. I've got to make some sort of move to get back on track a little
Isn't
bit.
it nice to have someone on the show who understands it when you say you're like Kramer? Because normally the idiot who sits there has no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Clueless.
No.
I go, pulling on my Italian heritage, have you seen these guys? I use this. This is going to blow your mind.
Was this going to work, or is it wrong?
No, well, it won't work for the
show the
listeners. But for the listeners, it's the Italian mock-up hot, right? Have you seen one of these before?
I've seen them. I've never. Are
Mate,
they good?
it makes the best brewed coffee.
Can you show the camera too?
Well,
mate?
I'll try and zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
All
great.
Is it good? Is
Look,
it?
it's only a Google
Are they
image.
like a camping?
Can you see?
Are they like a camping?
No, it's not camping.
It's not a billy.
It looks like a camp. Is that something you put on the fire?
No. It's all stove
But
related.
they're good.
Right.
Oh, outstanding.
I've
And
seen
it's
them.
a
I've
slow
always
brew.
wondered what they would be like.
It's a process. It's an enjoyable process. Yeah. So I make one of those.
I don't like process.
Mate,
I'm going to get it over and done with.
Yeah.
that's too much
That's my
information.
wife.
Well, I don't even want to go there. It's been about going and getting it done. The West Tigers, you guys were all over this yesterday, poised to launch a club-defining bid for Penrith Premiership winner Jarome Luai, expected to soar north of $4 million. So, as you reported, a deal worth close to 1.1 per season is being discussed, where Benji has to go and get the okay from the Tigers board, which you guys think is a mere formality.
Yeah, well, I think it's been in the wind for a while, hasn't it? I think we all thought that the Tigers might make a play for Jarome. Obviously, that story came out the other week that Benji had gone and caught up with him. Dave obviously was all over that as well. So it's not a surprise, but it sort of is in a way, because obviously they've got some young halves there. But I think Benji's attitude is, and he sort of said this: if a good player comes on the market, a player like this, a marquee player, you've got to at least explore it. And obviously he's explored it. He must be getting some positive reactions out of Jarome, and they're going to hit the go button.
I do hope, for Tigers fans' sake, that our story doesn't hurt the negotiations, because Benji has been so hell-bent on trying to shift the landscape of the West Tigers of being a leaky footy club. And, the negotiations, they're about to ramp up. Like, it's about to get serious. And it goes back to a board meeting, a West Tigers board meeting last week, where the suggestion of Benji Marshall going after Jarome Luai was first raised, and basically the board saying to Benji, go for it. Go, do your best, go all in for him. And they've left it to Benji, and I think that's a significant move, Reed, man. Like, when, a lot of footy clubs have a bit of a GM of footy, assistant coach, head coach tactic when they're trying to sign a player. Well, I feel like Benji's batting one out here. I feel like Benji's been given the keys and said, go do your best and go get him. And everyone's just really leaving him alone.
Well, I think they think Benji's got the pulling power, right, Dave? I mean, obviously Jerome's spoken openly a couple of years ago when he played in, I think it was one of the All-Stars games, about his admiration for Benji, and how he grew up a Benji fan. So he would send the ideal guy to go to Jarome Luai. The other factor of players, they haven't had a head of football. They've got an interim one now. I think it's Matt Betsy, or is that his name? Yeah, he's the interim head of football, but they haven't had a head of football because this review's been going on, and they don't want to appoint a head of football while the review's going on. So Benji's almost had to go one out in this negotiation. I think he's a great signing. I mean, I've written it. I think he'd be a fantastic signing for that club. And the idea would be Jarome would be given the team. It's his team. It doesn't matter whether he plays 6 or 7. He would be the chief playmaker. He'd be the guy running the show, running the team. And I think that appeals to him as well. He's always been in the shadow of Nathan. He will always be in the shadow of Nathan if he stays at Penrith, because they're such a good footy team and Nathan's such a good player. And I think Jarome is excited potentially by the prospect of being the man. Yeah,
I think it is too. And look, you go back to the coming through the grades together, Nathan and Jarome. Well, it was actually Jarome, the halfback, and he was seen as the star. He was the controlling playmaker when they were coming through the grades, and certainly that shifted for obvious reasons, taking nothing away from Nathan. But I think Jarome has an appetite to spread his own wings and create his own legacy as a dominant half, and not sit in the shadows and play second fiddle like he does to that machine at Penrith. I think the other factor to this story on the back page today as well is that we've certainly picked up on some discussion from the most key individuals that would be close to the negotiations about Jarome, indicating for the first time to Penrith teammates that he is seriously considering leaving. He hasn't definitively said, boys, I'm out, but he's certainly having discussions about, I'm leaning towards doing this, boys. I'm giving it serious thought. And that's probably the first time we've heard that. Up until this point, it's really just been, what's Jarome going to do? He's going to test the market. He's gone to November 1. He'll see what other options are out there. We've never really heard some commentary coming out of Penrith about Jarome telling his teammates, hey, I'm considering this.
Hey, can I just touch on something you mentioned before, Dave, about the concern about leaks out of the Tigers and this story getting out? I mean, I think the Tigers get a really bum rap in that department. Sure, sometimes it comes out of the Tigers, but there's other parties at play here. There's other clubs who are interested in Jarome Luai. And those clubs, it's probably in their interest to potentially get it out as well.
I'll tell you what happens. Other clubs pick on the Tigers.
Yes.
They use the Tigers up. They're easiest target from other clubs.
Well, so I feel a bit sorry that the appearance might be that's come out of the Tigers. I don't think this has.
No, what about the quotes from Brian Fletcher to Peter Bedell saying that I'm hearing that there's a $1.4 million offer, it's crazy money, because I know the Tigers are desperate for him. And that's on the record stuff that's being said. So,
that figures. That gives the appearance that the figure is $1.4 million a year. That's unrealistic.
So Penrith have got a history of this, right? So when they feel like they're about to lose a player, they start to plant seeds in the media about a rival club wooing that player. So it looks as though the player's taken the money and that the Panthers haven't lost the player. And there is a consistency in this. Not to say that they're going to lose Jarome. I still think they're in the fight. But there is a history there, and I do agree with you. I think the Tigers do get a bum rap, and I think they're picked on because they're a soft target for other clubs to go, well, the desperate clubs need this player. They use a player up to create the spotlight over here, while over here we're doing some dancing here.
And look, and I know Fletch even said, if do we want Jarome to leave? No, but if he left, would it be the worst thing in the world? No, we'll be okay. Which, of course, their production line, they've got some players coming through. They'll be okay. And I don't think you need any help. You're big enough and ugly enough to look after yourself. But drinking the Kool-Aid, have a look at this team. Jarome Buller at fullback. Appy at 9. You've got, if you had Jarome there at 6 or 7, then either Farnu or Sullivan or, Aiden Caesar's got 12
Lockie
months.
Galvin's the other one.
Lockie Gavin, good young kid. Callan De Silva coming through, good young kid. That back row, Papali'i, Bateman, then, whether you've got Twal there or Whenua Pole or...
Pole's a gun, yeah.
Stefano and Clem up front. We'll get that Clem conversation. Josh Folletti, good young kid coming through. Charlie Staines has just re-signed. You've got Nofaluma there, Junior Tupo, and this is without even...
Nofaluma, if they have their way, he won't be there much longer.
Well, yeah.
Justin Olam's the other wild card.
Justin Olam potentially coming in as and that's probably looking at that. You're sort of going, okay, well, where two things. Why are we going after Jarome if we've got these young guys here? Because he's a superstar.
Yeah.
Number two, what do they need? Those outside backs, they could potentially do with something there, but Olam's there, and Adam Dewey we haven't even spoke about because he's not going to be ready.
Hang on, is Justin Olam there?
No, he's not there
potentially.
yet.
Could
There's a
potentially
chance.
be there.
It might happen. It's still up in the air.
Yeah, but that's as far as looking at positions that they need. Going back to your point about Benji, best player on the market, let's go get him.
Yeah.
Or one
I think you've drilled too deep, Mobbsy. Honestly, I think you just go bang. Jarome Buller, absolutely. I can't recall a better rookie season. Honestly, it was outstanding.
He was there on a train and trial.
Unbelievable.
Last year, Dave.
He was unbelievable. So you go Buller at fullback, Coruscant at dummy half, top 2 dummy half in the game, Luai in the halves. See you later. That's a great. They're 3 points of attack that other clubs would crave in a heartbeat.
It's interesting you talk about that as if it's now, right? Well, the next question will be if Jarome takes that deal, does he go straight away? Penrith don't have a history of letting blokes go straight away, but I reckon this one's a bit different.
Why is that?
I just think that I'm not saying they would do it, but my gut feel is that there would be a discussion had, and ultimately it would be Ivan's decision. Ivan would have a say on whether...
Greg Alexander on SEN this morning said he wouldn't... I wouldn't be letting him go. Yeah. And Greg sits on the board, so...
Well,
it's
I've spoken to people that basically said it'll be Ivan who'll make the call. And I don't know, Jerome's a bit different, right? If he makes that decision, do you think Jarome might want to be interested in going straight away? I don't know. I'm just saying I think there would be a discussion around it, and certainly we'd talk about it.
Yeah. Well, they've got, who's the young kid? Jack Cole coming through. Yeah. They've got other young guys.
Well, the other interesting thing is if he goes there, the Tigers have got 3 young kids. You can bet your bottom dollar at least one of them will ask to leave.
Absolutely.
And Penrith's the logical place to go, right? Because they're going to lose Jarome Luai. So there's a few moving parts involved.
Yeah. And so what about David Clemmer being dragged into this discussion?
Well, I think it speaks to what Readie's talking about and the appetite for the Tigers, if they are to be successful in landing Luai, is get him now. And how do we get him now? Well, we're going to have to manoeuvre our cap a little bit. And David Clemmer's name has been floated to other clubs. Now, we can't confirm who's floated him, right? What we do know is that David Clemmer was absolutely none the wiser as that he was actually being passed around. His agent learned of it only through the club. Whether it was someone from the footy club, we don't know. But certainly Clemmer's name has landed at rival clubs. And at $750,000 through until 2026, I think it speaks to 2 things. One, they want to try and get Luai immediately. Or secondly, they're also going to have a crack at Adam Whenua Blake.
His last year that deal's an option as well, so he'll want at least to match that to go anywhere. I think Dave's still a good player. I think Dave's playing really good footy.
I think in the current market where footy clubs are chasing middle forwards, I don't think he'll struggle getting a club.
No. It's about the dollar figure though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Dave, I reckon.
So the Tigers would have to chip in.
They're going to have to chip in. I would suspect, to move Dave, and I'm sure they're probably.
So for a rival club, let's just say the Tigers chip in 400, 350.
350, maybe.
Right.
They'll probably try and get.
So would you pick up Dave Clemmer at 400?
If you're Canterbury?
I think you can 400.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
The teams in their middle forwards.
Yeah.
Flano be interesting.
Dragons, yeah.
Dragons.
400,000 for, that's not.
No.
No, for
For a
Dave.
bloke who was still making 130 metres a game.
The one thing I know about David Clemmer is he's absolute fitness freak. Like he's fit as.
I think he's only 29, Dave.
Yeah,
It
29.
feels like he's been around forever, doesn't it?
because he was a teenager when he debuted, yeah.
And writing this story yesterday, I went through his stats. Last season for the Tigers, he played the most amount of games of his career in a season. So he's not running out of legs.
No. And he's not picking up niggles or, which can obviously happen.
The only thing on Dave, he just has a little way of rustling up feathers a little bit at footy clubs.
Yeah, it's always a concern when a bloke's been through about 4 football clubs, isn't it?
But I think
I've always found him a great bloke, Dave.
Yeah, I have
He's
too.
a cracking guy.
I do too.
And I think he's a popular guy at footy clubs, right?
Yeah.
Within the playing group, he's a popular guy because he's a good bloke, Dave.
Yeah, he's a footy head, hey. Like,
Yeah, loves his footy.
And
Him and
so,
our mate Woodsy are great mates.
so it made it 400.
Weren't they a wee couple at Origin?
Oh, mate.
Oh yeah. At 400,000, I'd buy him.
You buying?
Yep.
You're in.
Yep.
What about 500?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't think. Like honestly, if you think about, so the best front row in the game's on 1.112. Payne and Adden will push that. Clem.
500 for Clem, yeah.
Their other issue is they let Clem go. They've got to get Stefano locked up. He's got that clause in his contract, right? That potentially he could go at the end of next year. So if they decide to let Clem go, they've just got to make sure they get Stefano tied down to a long-term deal.
Well, a statement signing like Jarome Luai might just do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because as you said, Dave, Buller, Jarome, Appy, and like I said, that back row's terrific.
Yeah.
I think Bateman really started to come into his own the back end of last season.
I like Fanua Pole.
Yeah, great young kid. There's green shoots.
What are you laughing at, Readie?
You love Fanua Polo.
I do. I think he's a good player, mate.
Who's your favourite player?
Favourite non-shark?
Mate, Jarome Buller. Some of his defensive efforts for a kid, like the amount of tries he saved for the Tigers was incredible.
I still think that side's short of a top 18 though.
Yeah.
It needs guys to.
But it's heading in the
jump
right
out.
direction.
It is.
Yeah.
Needs one of those young halves to explode. If they get Jarome, play alongside Jarome, they still need an outside back. They need
The
some
big
speed.
thing about
Junior Tupou had a great year.
Yeah.
He's off contract at the end of the year.
There's this real sliding doors moment going on right now for the West Tigers and Benji Marshall. And that is the huge discussion point we used to focus on when Madge was in charge, that he couldn't land a player.
Yeah.
Now, if Benji Marshall lands his first major signing in the shape of Jarome Luai, well, one signing becomes two becomes three. It is a domino effect if you land that big one, to Mobbsy's point.
Yeah.
Mobbsy, you're right. If they get Jarome, Stefano probably stays.
Yeah.
And then another one comes.
Yeah.
However, if Jarome knocks him back, what does the next big signing think? Well, if Jarome knocked him back, maybe it's not the place for me either. And that stench stays.
Yeah.
But Benji has a real sliding doors moment, and like out of the blocks in his coaching career to land a huge fish, which ultimately could turn into 6-7 great signings, because that's how it works.
Yeah, and the kids that they're coming through to supplement that, and all of a sudden you're looking at a successful franchise again. So, interesting. Questions just across the road there at Belmore, repositioning Matt Burton. Now, Berto did some media on Wednesday where he said he's under pressure to keep his spot at 5'8", because obviously they've got Toby Sexton there, Drew Hutchison, Kurt Mann, Bailey Biondo, Odo, Jamin Salmon, every other utility they've signed. But did say he wants his hands on the football. He wants to be involved, wants to lead the team around the park as much as he can. And, I mean, he was bought to, if he wanted to play centre, he could have stayed at Canterbury. Stay at Penrith, not on the same money, of course. But, Dave, I did read, I don't want to go too far ahead, but I had you do a little preview that we'll be rolling out at some point. Your best Bulldogs 17 had Matt Burton in the centres. Yeah,
Mobbsy, look, I think... I wrote about it a couple of weeks ago in my Sunday column about why I think the Bulldogs are currently in a position that they weren't in the past, and that is options in their halves. And I think Matt Burton's move to 5'8" was a byproduct of, one, it helped sign him, right? It did, because there was an appetite there. But two, there really wasn't a great depth of halves options at the Dogs last season. And now that they do have, they're not elite. I'll give you that. They are not elite. But I thought Toby Sexton actually did enough in a short space of time at a brand new club, mid-season switch. That's tough. He's a young fella. And with a big pre-season, leave him in the halves. And I thought Drew Hutchison always did a job when he was asked to for the Sydney Roosters. So I would throw them together and just create this elite level backline. It would be enormous. With Crichton and Burton in the centres, on your edges, Kickow and Jacob Preston, and then on your wings, Carraz and Josh Addo-Carr, and you could have Blake Taff, and I expect Connor Tracy to eventually get there at fullback. So that I'm just thinking of the makeup of the back line, and I think Burton suits in the centres.
I think if Tracy lobs there, someone was trying to tell me this week that if Tracy lobs there, as we expect him to do, Taff will play 6 with Sexton.
Yep.
Has done in the past.
But that's why
I'd prefer Burton myself.
Would you?
Well, you pay a guy big bucks, right, to play 5'8". That's what they paid him for.
he played in a State of Origin game.
I understand that,
at
Dave.
centre.
He's a better centre than a 6. He's a better centre than 6.
The commentary team
you
were
know what?
arguing whether he was man of the match that day.
He's the best 6 they've got, in my opinion. I think he's a better 6
I think
than
he'll be.
Tapp. He's a better 6 than Hutchison.
I think in 4 years' time he'll be a gun 6.
He mightn't stay. He might get so pipped.
Why? Because he's on the exact same money.
In the centres, he might take a hot. He might go. Benji might come in him as well.
If you can't devise an attacking game plan that gets the ball to Matt Burton, that allows him to still put up his torpedo bombs at centre, I don't see it as a major issue.
Mm.
It's a very good edge. Him Kickout plays left edge, I think, doesn't he? And Josh Addo-Carr.
You know that play where Birdo loves jamming off his left foot and coming back at the line?
I'm not that technical.
Like 5 metres off the try line.
Yeah.
Like he uses his power and his speed and his footwork. Put him at centre as if he's not going to beat an opposition centre.
Yeah. I'll tell you what would help them. Go get Tommy Dearden, shove him at 6.
Oh, now you're just buying everyone. Seriously.
Well, it's the Dogs, mate.
Well, hang on,
just tap blokes. See you later, buddy. We've got to buy someone else.
I've just rattled off 6 different halves options and you want to go and buy another half.
Oh, the best one. Or the second best one.
You know the game.
The equal best
the rest of the game aren't convinced on Tom Dearden. No, sorry. There are sections of the game that aren't convinced on Tom Dearden.
Yeah, some aren't. I am. I love him. I think he's a very good footballer.
I think he's a good player.
How sad were you when he left Brisbane?
Well, I was in Seeds Who Trust, mate. Seabold sympathiser, baby.
But just back to
Brisbane
Burton.
have picked up all right. They've gone all right. Ezra Mam's not a bad player.
Yeah.
They're going to run into some trouble.
Who?
The Bronx.
In what sense?
They'll lose a couple.
They've already lost them.
You don't think they'll lose a bit more?
I think they'll willingly give up a couple of players.
They've got to keep Reece Walsh and they've got to keep Ezra Mam and they've got to keep Jordan Ricky.
They'll keep Ezra. He's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Jordan Ricky's not going anywhere.
Capewell.
He might be squeezed out.
Oof, good player.
Yeah, but when you got...
Hey, Parramatta could use your Capewell.
You got Ricky and Paikura.
Yeah, good player too.
I'll tell you what, Parramatta could use
You should
Capewell.
give Brad a ring.
I will.
Your man.
Brad, I'll give
you got
you
him
a
on
call.
speed dial.
Yeah. Just
Got some advice for you, Brad. Stay Ricky over here.
I'll take
get us
some.
a couple of you back. Come on, let's just.
Oh, you want Papa back?
You don't need Capewell. The Dragons.
Yeah,
He's a leader.
Yeah. Mate, he's had success at every footy
He's
club
a winner.
he's been to.
He's a winner.
Started at the Sharks, part of that premiership team.
Yep.
Penrith, premiership.
He's a winner,
Broncos,
Dave.
grand final.
Flano needs winners. He needs
player, mate.
leaders.
Yeah. Just back to Burton for a second there, because no, you're right. I sort of agree with you with that. You're talking about that left foot step.
He's just waving at random people.
What's going on?
That was the boss, Tim Morrissey,
Oh, okay.
the Sydney King legend.
The issue for Canterbury as well is where you want, because with options now, you wanted Burton there for that 5th tackle kick, didn't you? Because it just up she goes. But
Sexton's got a good kicking game, though.
yeah, but this also gives him the option to be there on the 4th tackle to do something. You know? Because on that 4th tackle when you want to put a move on, when you want to be, you want your best players involved in that play. And if that's the case, if he gets held up with the ball, you need another kicking option. I think they really lacked that last season.
Agreed, Mobbsy.
You look at those lists of guys there with decent kicking games that can help give them more options. Which
Is he a left or right footer, Birdo?
Who's that?
lefty.
Left.
He's left.
Yeah.
When the Sharks won the comp in 16,
Yes.
they would play to their left to Wade Graham.
Right.
And he would launch that left foot kick and get them out of trouble so many times.
Okay.
right? Because Jimmy Maloney and Chad Townsend were under pressure on the kick. Throw to the left and Wade would punch him downfield. Burto can do the same thing.
My issue there is you don't want to be building your side based around which foot a bloke kicks with. In my opinion, there's bigger things at play, Dave.
It's not. You're not building. It's an additional.
You're not basing your back line around.
Oh, you're kidding, mate! It's an additional weapon.
It's okay. It's still a weapon.
You're not
It's still a
building-
weapon at 6, though.
They're not sitting in the team room with the whiteboard up there going, righto, we're only playing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he can kick the ball from
Might be another
6.
Zoolander reference for you.
Yeah, only go left. Anyway, I like him at 6. I think he's a very good player. And you pay him a lot of money, and that's what they brought him to do. So just pick him there, put him there, and let him have a go.
Now, I want to move on a little bit because we got a mountain of listener questions.
Oh, wow.
A mountain of them.
Oh, look at them all.
Now,
Jeepers
yeah, look at this.
Look at the mailbag.
Holy mackerel.
So if you want to send in questions, obviously we put the shout out
Hey,
on
I'm just
Twitter
saying,
every
is this
week.
the most amount of questions
Yeah.
of the year? And Buzz and Carrianis aren't here?
Yes,
Boom, that's
correct.
exactly what I was
Okay.
thinking.
Yes.
Also,
Coincides
And,
with no
and we
MC.
usually give out Carrianis' email. I was going to give out his home address as well at one
Yeah.
point, but that didn't work. So you can hit us up on Twitter or X or whatever the heck it's called now. Otherwise, you can email them through to me, adam.mobbs, MOBBS, @news.com.au. Please keep them nice. I'm very fragile, thin-skinned. I can't take criticism.
and it's November.
What about that
Christmas is
first
coming.
question here? Should somebody give him a ring?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just thinking. Should I give him a...
Yeah, give him a call.
Yeah,
so,
dial him in.
Nick Martin wants to know, can we please get a phone hook up with the great man Buzz Rothfield? He has gone off the map and I'm having some buzzy withdrawals.
Dave and I fill in while you do that. You spoken to Buzz lately, Dave?
No, I've given him a...
I spoke to him yesterday.
I've given him... No, he's
He sounds
taking a break.
Very relaxed.
No,
sounds very, in a good place. Like he's enjoying his time off. When are you due to have time off, Dave?
Adam.
Hey, Buzz, I've got you live on the podcast here with Readie and Dave because we had a listener question saying they were having buzzy withdrawals.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you related to Nick Martin?
Are you actually shocked? Seriously?
Do you want to announce... Well, how are you going, by the way? I think everyone wants to know.
Everyone wants to know.
I'm going very well, Adam, just on extended leave and very much enjoying it.
Are you're back in New South Wales now, aren't you?
I'm back in New South Wales and I do have a spotted for you.
Yeah.
Save it for
You know,
Sunday.
spotted for Sunday sesh, Readie.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, what do you got?
Mate, true story.
Yeah.
I was on my power walk this morning,
Yeah.
right? Streets of Caringbah, do about 6 Ks, about an hour. This young fella and his partner pulled me up and said, Buzz. I said, hey, mate. And you know all he wanted to know? He said, what's for dinner tonight?
Yes!
Oh,
That's
wow.
all he wanted to know.
Is that the spotted?
So there you go. My podcast,
Oh, my
they're
Lord.
more concerned about what I'm actually eating
Can you come up with a better spotted for the Sunday column?
than my views on the great game.
Oh, my Lord.
That is outstanding.
Yeah.
Enjoying your off-season, Buzzy?
Mate, I'm loving it. It's beautiful. Loving it.
Right, he's...
It's going to be very hard to get back in that office in February, but I'll be there.
You never came in the office anyway.
Oh, you're kidding, aren't you? Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, that's Brent.
Is Dave Rick out there?
I'm here, mate. I miss you, bud.
Mate, you know what I was doing on my power walk? I heard you on SEN this morning,
Yeah.
one of your many gigs.
Yeah.
You were very authoritative,
Thank
as always.
Did he say authoritative?
I think he did,
Yeah. Thank you, Buzzy
Put your
boy.
teeth back in, Buzz.
He's on his walk at the moment. You sound like you're on your walk.
No, I promise you, I just had to stop the mower to take this call.
Yeah, good. Is that the 40-year-old mower that you take in once a year for the
Now, I
service?
finally got rid of it. And if I can plug Ryobi, I now have a lithium battery.
I was going to say, he's got the battery, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
was going to buy one of
The
them, but
cats-
they reckon they're no good. They're no good when the grass gets a bit longer.
Well, Buzz never lets that happen.
Oh, how would you know? Seriously.
Yeah.
How's your recipes going? That'll do me. Readie tipped to me on those.
Right, well, we're...
I've got to get back to my holiday.
Righto, good to hear from you.
See you, great man.
Hubris.
Bye.
The catch with the mowing is it's been drizzling rain outside.
Yeah.
Buzz has
electric mower.
gone to the he's gone the electric mower, the lithium
Right.
battery mower in the wet
They
grass.
could explode. They catch fire, don't
Good
they?
luck,
Yeah,
Buzzy.
he's not a wet tracker, Buzz. so-
Ryobi, they'd be outstanding.
Well, there you go. He's in good shape.
Yeah.
He's loving life.
6 Ks a day.
Yeah. He rang me the other day. Well, actually, Buzz is king of the pocket dial. You guys have probably copped it a couple of times. You hear that of him doing his walks. James Silver, sports editor of the Daily Telegraph, got a pocket dial from Buzz at 6:20 the other morning. And he went, oh God, what's gone on?
Breaking yarn.
It was Buzz on a walk with Chimes, the great Steve Gillis,
yes.
up at Kira Beach. So he was.
He got half a conversation with Chimes.
Yeah. So you just want to hope he's not saying anything, giving any trade secrets
Off the
away.
record.
So, right, next question from Pete Barton wants to know, why can't we start the NRL season earlier, have a draw that sees each team play each other twice, shorten state of origin, start the season earlier, more games, more revenue for the players and for the game's expansion, and the fans would love it.
Well, you kill them. I mean, that would be like 32 games or something, wouldn't it? It'd be ridiculous. Regular season games, it's just impossible. It's too much. You can't play each other twice. That's unrealistic. I think what we need is conferences where you play your own conference twice. I think eventually we'll go down that path.
I like the idea of it for fairness, but as far as workload goes, it's...
And we are
I don't know how...
We're starting the season earlier this year.
Well, exactly. I was about to say that. Pete, I don't know how much earlier you'd like to start it. We're starting in February as far as pre-season trials and throwing the Indigenous and Māori All-Stars. Just breaking news, boys. We've just received a text message from Buzz that shows he's taken a photo of his Ryobi lithium battery mower.
Have a look at this. I'll
He's obviously got a
hold
freebie,
this up
right?
if you want to.
Oh, this is a dead set plug.
Yeah. Look at this from Buzz.
I
just
must
showing
say,
for those of us watching on YouTube.
Do you think the lawn actually needs a mow?
Well,
You think he's bored and he's just mowing for the sake of it?
he's like Colonel Tom Parker at the SCG, isn't he? Just every.
Oh, well,
Needs to get back to work.
Look, Pete, I think the season's long enough as it is. As I said, if you starting footy in January, cricket's still going.
Yeah. It's a bit, you can't do that.
What about Ned wants to know thoughts on the NRL stadium strategy. He reckons it's a disgrace that one team's playing out of the SFS. He goes, he knows there's a deal with Venues New South Wales, but NRL talks about tribalism. I'm for centralisation, but not when there is a better stadium closer.
No, I'm a suburban ground tribalism guy. I love it. Nothing better than seeing droves and hundreds of Panthers fans walking to Penrith Park. Down at Shark Park, same thing. They come out, walk the streets, come out of the pubs. I don't think we're like the AFL. I think that's why we're better than the AFL.
I'm with Ned.
Yeah, of course,
demolish it, put up units. worst ground in the game. Disgraceful facilities. Ordinary place.
Tony
Ace one of the
Tony
world.
Mestrop, I hope you're listening to this.
No, well, they deserve a new stadium, right? But I think we need more teams.
In your electorate, Tony Abbott, what's going on, eh?
We need more teams at Allianz. Do you not agree with that? It's a great stadium.
Well, who's playing there?
The Roosters.
Okay, but who else do you want to move there? Okay, I'd have no problem with South. That's their area.
Cronulla.
It's not their area. That's not tribalism.
We need more teams there. West Tigers. We need to at least play some games there, Dave.
What's the name of the West Tigers?
West Tigers.
Not the East Tigers.
It's a great stadium. It needs more games.
But
the stadium wasn't built for the NRL.
Look, they need to play some games there. Not all of them. Some games there. We need to use it more. It's a great stadium.
Disappointing that, I can see the finance behind it, that Penrith's not getting a fresh $300 million stadium, but that is a terrible stadium. And
terrible.
Those
three grounds: Shark Park, Penrith Park, and Manly.
Yep. Campbelltown Stadium.
All need upgrades.
Yeah.
Well, Penrith then talks about an upgrade that would demolish the western stand and then would add a grandstand to the southern hill. And then that would sort of give you a horseshoe to the eastern stand.
Haven't they done it now? Haven't they decided what they're doing there or not?
No, still not. Hasn't been signed off on yet. So,
goodness.
But for a team that only plays, it's only hosted 11, 12 games there a year, because they take one to Bathurst, or if they have a Magic Round game. So, money talks there. But
but Allianz needs to be used more. It's underused, underutilised.
Yeah, but it's not up to the NRL to fix that problem.
Who's it up to?
Well, it's the city stadium. It's not the NRL stadium.
No, but they can talk to their clubs about playing more games there. Don't you think?
Yeah, South Sydney, I reckon.
Okay.
Definitely South.
Okay. Then Ned will write in and
I
say,
hate the fact that
don't you
South's played
think Core
out.
Stadium should be used more?
I don't like that Souths play out at Homebush,
Yeah,
Sydney Olympic Park.
I'm with you.
Now, Readie, you're our storm man, and Daniel
Yes.
Watson-Hayes back again. Terrell May, any hope of the Roosters going down there? And the update on the pursuit of Sean Blaw. Will they get him for 24?
He is right when he says that he was heavily pursued by the Storm in 2022. That's true. They thought they were with a real chance of getting Terrell May. But obviously went to the Roosters in the end. It's dragging on that negotiation. Roosters signed a lot of players in recent weeks. He's not one of them. My feeling at the moment is he won't be there in 2025. He's contracted for one more year.
Yep.
So sorry, you think Terrell May's going to leave?
Yeah.
Oh, I got mail he's going to stay
How recent, Dave?
yesterday. But
Really?
But
Okay.
that's interesting. Like, I don't know.
Really?
No, it's interesting because I wouldn't be losing him.
No, I think they want to keep him.
Yeah.
But I think he's got some pretty good offers on the table from elsewhere.
Well, mate, as he should. Good
And
player.
Blaw, my understanding is Blaw hasn't been at training this week at the Tigers, or at least he was given a few days off at the start of the week to try and resolve the situation with the Storm. They're hoping the Olam Blaw situation will be resolved. It's obviously not yet. He'll be there in 2025. I think the Tigers believe he's already done a deal there to go in 2025, and the Storm want him now. I think he'll be there now. I think he'll start 24 at the Storm, Sean Blaw.
Yep.
And Terrell May, I think they're interested in him, but they're a bit wary because...
I only say because obviously Jared Warrior-Hargraves comes to the end of his career.
Yeah.
Angus Crichton, end of his contract.
Yeah. I think the issue isn't next year, though, 25, I think the issue is 24, because I think he's on quite a small
gets
pay
a significant
packet. I
upgrade.
think the idea is maybe he gets an upgrade for 24 and then extends for beyond that, but I think the Roosters haven't been able to come to the party on the 24 upgrade, so that's why things have stagnated a bit there.
Yep.
Righto. Are Parramatta any chance of signing quality outside back before the start of next season? Chances of keeping Ethan Sanders, with Canberra very, very interested in getting him over the line, and the possibly moving Dylan Brown to fullback, Gutherson to centre, and playing Sanders at 6.
Good question, Mobbsy. You've written that well.
I wouldn't be moving
question.
Dylan.
We get the quality outside. We get the quality outside back question every week.
Yes.
X Factor.
And there's nothing doing there. I haven't picked up on anything.
No, they've been very quiet.
No.
Chances of keeping Ethan Sanders for when? Next year.
We'll be there next year.
He'll be there next year, but he won't be there beyond it.
No.
He's going to the Raiders. Possibly moving Brown to fullback, Gutherson to centre, and playing Sanders at 6. Well, Sanders I don't think will be there beyond next season, so I don't think that'll happen.
Yep. I'm with you,
I'm
Dave.
sorry, Josh.
Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
It wasn't me
Josh
whatsoever. John T, if Luai goes to the Tigers, what happens to the other halves they've signed? I think we've covered that.
Yep.
We think one of them will opt to try and leave.
Yep.
James Eggins wants to know what's the timeline on the Tigers review.
Cool.
Lots of rumours. Lots of rumours.
being let go, eh? The timeline on it is, look, it'll be fine. It's been finalised. My understanding is it's been done. The Holman Barnes group, the West Ashfield side of the board, they've had an insight into it. The other side of the board hasn't. That'll be done the next couple of weeks, and when that happens, the change will take place, and there will be change. Lots of it, my understanding is. Lots of it.
Poor Richard Cohen, and I can hear Dragons fans saying this.
Oh, man.
For the love of God, when will the Dragons announce a key marquee signing? Hashtag they're killing me.
Oh, Rich. Yeah, it is a consistent voice of concern.
Very hard to convey tone on Twitter, but that
No, he did well, Rich.
He's nailed it.
It's been a slow burn, hasn't it?
Look, Dragons fans, you need to understand, and we said this from the start, you were never going to land someone for next season.
No.
That's not the focus. The focus is 25 and beyond. And I said it here on the show last week. I expect the next 4 to 6 weeks, you will start to hear of the Dragons targeting and meeting with the likes of your Deardens, your Lukies, your Fanua Blakes. I think that's going to happen in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
But as far as landing one, not yet, Rich.
No.
Right.
Tom Eisenhuth, their only signing so far. Doesn't really get the pulse racing. No offence, Tom. He's a good, solid player. But, they want marquee guys, right?
Have you got any advice for Tom? Because you
Solid player, Tom, but, let him...
you don't mind handing out advice to middle forwards.
You're a Kepi? You're talking about my Kepi
Yeah,
obsession?
Sean Kepi was your last one. Did Keps give you a call?
No, I haven't heard from Keps. Good signing.
Tom, give Reed Man a call. Just if you need help, just trying to appease fans and get the pulse racing, as Reed Man says.
What about the shadow, the presence that Readie is casting over NRL types lately? With a lot of people telling other people to tell Brett Reed to call them to sort things out because they think he has an issue with them.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mate,
What are you doing? You're upsetting people out there.
Yeah, sorry, folks.
Wow. Pete Ferguson, we've upset Pete because he's saying, why isn't Russell Jackson, who's our chief of staff, coming off the bench?
Yeah.
He was a super sub last year.
That's a fair question.
Is that
to
his
be honest.
brother-in-law? Who was that?
I don't know.
I just wouldn't mind a bit of a 5-minute hit up from Russ. Just come in,
Cameo.
come out.
Yeah,
just
cameo.
get in, get out, done. Thank you. Talk about the Roosters for 5 minutes and get out.
Oh, God.
You know, he was
If
responsible.
he asked me one more time, anything doing with Joey Manu, honestly, I'll storm out the building.
Talk to the camera, Ruben. There's the camera.
Russ, no more, mate. It will happen. It will happen. Don't worry. Joey is not going anywhere.
What about Russ is spotted on Monday of Eddie Jones driving out of Rugby Australia at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and Russ got the camera out and
good journalism.
Gee, he does a very good Eddie Jones impression. I can't even try.
He does great impersonations.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, we should get him on here for a few of them.
Yeah.
They're very good. Three-pronged Sharks question, which I'll throw to you, Dave.
Davey boy.
A Thunder season wants to know, is Kale Iro looking at more likely to stay at Cronulla now with Connor Tracy likely to leave and Talakai more than likely to the forwards? Mr. J wants to know, is Tracy to the Dogs a real thing? And Scotty M wants to know, are the Sharks a chance of getting AFB from the Warriors? Moylan gone, Tracy rumoured to be out. Could that be clear enough salary cap space to open the door for a potential trade with the Warriors, with maybe Braden Hamlin-Welly, Royce Hunt or Oregon Kafusi going the other way? Warriors get a replacement, quote unquote. Sharks get an upgrade.
Yeah, so just firstly, Kale Iro, talented centre sitting in the New South Wales Cup. I expect him to get opportunities in 2024 in the Sharks backline. Whether he stays or not, I mean, that's going to be up to him. He probably thinks that he belongs in the NRL now, probably already by now, and that hasn't eventuated due to the fact that Talakai had some pretty consistent years. I think Talakai starts in the centres in round one, and it then be up to Talakai to lose the position. I'm hearing Cade Dykes will be a legitimate option also in the centres, so whether that's another stumbling block for Kale Iro remains to be seen. Is Tracy to the Dogs a real thing? Absolutely, it's a real thing. Both the Sharks and Dogs are working on some type of swap deal as far as the Sharks trying to pull a player out of Canterbury. I expect it to be more of a younger player with huge ability, talent-wise, and clearly the Dogs would be loath to let one of those go, but the Sharks want something out of letting Connor Tracy go. Are the Sharks a chance of getting Adam Fanua-Blake? I expect the Sharks to assess their appetite in Fanua-Blake over the next 2 weeks, look at their cap and work out whether Fanua-Blake's for them. They do have money. They will have money. They will have money from absolutely Moylan going. That sits at around 300. Connor Tracy leaving is another 300. Throw in a bit of cap space. They would probably get there. They'd get there if they want to invest there. I think the belief is that Sharks need an enforcer in their pack to take them to the next level. Fitzy has huge belief in his current pack, and I expect him to basically give those forwards the first 8-9 rounds to show him what they've got. It's a big year. It's a big year for a couple of off-contract Cronulla forwards.
We'll just sit and put our feet up here. The Dave Riccio
he's all over
podcast.
that.
Talk about Buzz's podcast. It's a good rap
A lot
from
of
you.
competition for Fanua-Blake, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, it will be. We heard Gus on radio yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
Talking about the Dogs' interest in him. There's been a lot of Flano's obviously come out publicly and said he's keen.
It's interesting when you're you're more of a club up the top of the ladder compared to a club at the bottom of the ladder, how much you want to... The difference in mindset in paying 1.1 for a front rower.
The Sharks need something, though.
I don't disagree. But
something.
for them to invest 1.1, when they've been going okay is debatable.
He might tip them over the edge though, right?
Yeah.
They feel like they're sort of...
Yeah, I'm with you.
They feel that they're just treading water at the
They're
moment.
making the 8.
Making the 8, but not really threatening anything beyond that. He would be an X Factor player.
Yeah, all right. Well, the question here, do you think Vegas will be a sellout?
I don't think so.
I don't think it'll be a sellout.
Not getting there, is it, at the moment?
They'll get a big crowd. It'll be over 40, 50,000, but I think what's the capacity there? 65?
Yeah.
I'm not sure they'll sell it out, but they'll get a big crowd. There's a lot of Aussies going. It's created a lot of intrigue.
That's good, isn't it?
I reckon second year they'll
What's the
sell out.
word? We going? What's happening?
Oh, still waiting for
Can we
the...
get an on-camera commitment? What are we doing?
I'd like to say
We'll hold you to
that...
this.
We'll lock things in as discussions. It'd be a great trip to just, honey, I'm not going to Vegas for the gambling, I'm going for the footy.
Yeah. I've got some mates going.
I reckon second year will be over the top again. I think first year will be, feeling it out, telling the America who we are, and then second year sell out.
We should just start up. If we don't get a gig, we should just start a travel tour up that you can come with us. We'll set up over on the commercial flights. Away we go.
Bobby Farrah's got one of them going.
We've got to do the podcast from somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Random Dragon, why has there been no negative media around Flano and the supplement saga? I didn't realise we were taking questions from 10 years ago, but... I don't mean to be rude, but we kind of moved on, haven't we?
The question is in the name of the handle, Random Dragon 99. So Random Dragon 99, I mean, seriously, how many times do we need to discuss this?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
And when do you move on, and when does someone pay their penalty?
I was going to say he paid a pretty heavy price for it.
And he's been back on the NRL scene for a number of years anyway, going through the steps. So,
move on, Random Dragon. Move on, son.
And what about Matt Will, 1982? This is only look, Evertonian Matt. He said, tell the NRL clubs to go for Lewis Dodd. Inform them that Harry Smith is absolute rubbish, and as a Wigan fan, if I was them, I wouldn't go near him. Wow. Wink, wink. I think he's trying to throw off there because Lewis Dodd's at St Helens and his man Harry Smith is at Wigan. And basically, NRL clubs, if you're after Harry Smith, drop off because Bat wants him staying there.
I think Lewis Dodd's the more prominent one anyway that's on NRL radars at the moment. But there's certainly some interest in Harry Smith as well. It's being drummed up. The lack of halves here, obviously.
Who did you write about last week?
I can't remember. It was Harry Smith, wasn't it?
Oh, my God.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Was it Harry? I can't remember.
You led your column with it.
No, that was the Pommy rugby player.
Yes.
Henry Arundel.
Yeah.
Henry Arundel.
Yeah.
He looks good. He's got the goods, that kid.
And there's one more random question, and I think I know where this has come from, because there are quite often debates, this is Night of NRL, quite often debates in sport and just who the GOAT is. In the NBA, it's Jordan v LeBron. NRL, he says it's Johns v Smith. But my question is, who do you reckon can contend with Lightning McQueen for the title of the GOAT in the Piston Cup? So I saw Stephen A. Smith get questioned by this on his podcast yesterday. Strip Weathers also has seven Piston Cups in the movie Cars. Your kids watch Cars?
Yeah. Great.
Mater, great ride over there at Disney World as well too. Great to sort of whip you around.
We'll go there on the way to Vegas.
Yeah.
You been, Mobbsy?
Yeah, outstanding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, outstanding.
I'm on my way. Toe Mater. He doesn't compete for Piston Cups.
No, he doesn't compete, but great character.
Can I give you my Disneyland story?
Why not?
I went there 20 years ago. I went on a trip and I went by myself to America. Just to go to some footy game stuff. I thought I'm going to go to Disneyland because I was staying at Anaheim. I was right near it.
Doesn't sound creepy at all.
Anyway, I've walked in there, paid whatever I paid. There was a queue for the roller coaster. It was so long, I just walked out and left.
Oh.
That was it, done.
That's so you, Reed, man.
Oh, no patience.
No
for that
patience.
stuff.
He's got no patience.
The queue was so long. I thought, I can't cop this.
Wow.
And I just stormed out. Enough.
You do that as a kid, though.
Up yours, Mickey Mouse, I said.
There's the podcast catchphrase, up yours, Mickey Mouse.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Good times a long time ago.
Well, Dave will love that. Mate, just get your fast passes when you're over there.
Okay, right,
you can
fast pass.
Straight to the front on some of those rides.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
How much
you pay a little
for
bit
the
more.
fast pass,
Yeah, exactly.
They're a little bit more.
Mate, honestly, this trip is
He spent the fortune.
a bad idea.
He's gone broke anyway.
It's a bad idea.
Oh, right.
I love it, Dave.
Readie's favourite segment, dinner, before we wrap up. You had any thoughts?
I have. I'm gonna have a bit of a hybrid dinner tonight. Hybrid dinner.
You do drive a Tesla.
The other day, yesterday, I bought some chicken kebabs. Guess what they marinated in?
Teriyaki.
Lemon, garlic, rosemary.
Oh.
Oh, it's my favourite ingredients.
Wow.
I found them at the local butcher. So I found one of them tonight. I only bought one because it's a test case to see how they go. And I bought a couple of lamb cutlets. I'm going to crumb
You only
them up.
bought one?
I only bought one.
You've got a family of 4.
No, this is for me.
He never-
This is the man who went Disneyland solo.
That's right. He doesn't cook for his kids,
Yeah,
remember?
well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. They'll be right. They'll be fine. And my wife's going out, so I'll get the boys. I just stick some, bought some chicken wings, put them in the oven, boom, cook them up.
Well done.
Chicken wings and a carrot. That's the only veggie I'll eat without complaining. And and just some couple of crumb lamb cutlets. I bought I'm going to crumb them myself. Got a bit
a lot of food.
bit of parmesan. 2 lamb cutlets on a chicken kebab.
Okay, right.
And with salad because I'm on a diet.
I'm not the diet again.
Yeah.
You're a yo-yo.
I've lost more kilo. I'm going all right. I'm almost down to 81.
Nice.
I could be under 80 soon. This could be a momentous moment. Hopefully it happens.
When was the
on
last time you
podcast.
were sub 80?
Mate, 5 years ago, 10
Wow.
years ago.
Nice.
That my playing weight was 78 when I was at my peak. Well, sort of.
You were
I was
text
a bit
messaging
lighter. I was 72 at my peak.
You were text
But towards
messaging
the
a
end,
lot
I was
last night.
78.
You didn't have a bit of a red wine last night, did
Had
you?
a couple last
there
night.
you go. Far out, bombarding text
That's
messages.
my cheat, red wine.
What about you, Dave?
Well, I've been cooking the last few nights, to be honest, because the beautiful bride's been away and I've been holding the fort at the home front. So, to be honest, I wouldn't mind a night off.
Does your wife watch this podcast and listen to this podcast? 'Cause
She will be now.
What have you been gracing the kids with, Dave?
What did we have?
You keep it simple or you...
Yeah, I do. You got to keep, mate. We had a busy day yesterday.
Yeah.
We had to keep it simple. However, I did go down a chicken parmigiana route last night.
You made your own?
So it's schnitzels.
Yeah. You bought
Then-
the schnitzels or crumb
No,
yourself?
crumb yourself. Yeah. Do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Egg, flour.
Yeah.
Then you go the
Cheese?
no, ham.
Yeah, okay.
Smoked ham.
Yep.
With a light layer of sauce,
Yep.
red sauce, and then it's the melted cheese on top.
Wow.
Goes down like a bit of broccoli on the side. You've got to go some greens.
Clearly you're not on a diet like
No,
that.
that's right.
I'm not
That's
a bit
right.
a fan of Parmesanas. I don't understand the
Yeah?
rationale
Oh.
behind it. I'll happily eat a schnitzel, but the Parmesan is just excessive for me.
Yeah,
It's
no,
over
it's
the
good
top.
stuff.
no, I like a schnitzel with a topper. You can, you know.
Do you?
Yeah. All different ones you can throw on there. Mexicana, you know.
What's in a Mexicana? Some jalapenos or something?
Yeah, spicy flavour.
Oh, I like the sound of that actually.
You can, you know.
Oh, look, I'll probably go down a steak route tonight.
Oh, yes.
Just steak and salad, something simple.
Yes, that's good. Yeah.
No, well,
I haven't had a beer in about 3 weeks
Well,
now.
treat yourself.
Yeah,
You deserve one.
Yeah,
after
I might have
single
a beer.
dating it for a couple of
I
days.
recommend a 4 pints. Should try it.
The last time I had a beer was I was in Queenstown picking up the
Let's not get back there, Dave.
what? Can I just mention it?
Yeah,
Hey, be
go
careful
on.
drinking the water in Queenstown. Crypto's Peridium.
Look it up.
Are you better now?
Google
You okay?
Google Queenstown water issue.
Dave lost more weight in a weekend than Readie has on his
that's
diet.
right.
So.
I'm down under 80 kilos.
What do you got? What's
Well,
cooking?
my bride is doing an eggplant lasagna tonight, homemade.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I like the
Love
sound of
that.
that.
No, it's
Yeah.
terrific.
I'll send some photos in there.
I like
Yeah,
the
that's
sound of that.
beautiful.
Very well.
I might
So
change things up now I've heard that.
Oh,
really,
I might do a veggie lasagna.
there you go.
Keep my kebab for
No
Friday
wonder
night.
you just quit the line at Disneyland. You just you change so quickly.
What's in that? Just eggplant? Nothing else?
no, she.
Is that like a moussaka? Isn't that
Nah,
moussaka
no.
eggplant?
No.
No?
Similar,
Just-
but not no.
Yeah.
That's
Just
what I
give
But the
said.
eggplant
I said
goes,
isn't it like?
eggplant goes
You said
beautifully
similar.
soft.
Does it?
Yeah.
And does she put the mince in as well or no?
No.
it's
No mince,
vegetarian.
but she does gets the sheets herself
Yep,
and
yep.
does it all.
Does her own
and-
sheets?
Yeah. Or buys them and then puts it all together. So,
Oh, okay.
you know.
Well, that's
Oh, you thought she was rolling that?
She's had one of those.
The pasta roll. We got one of them.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's a bit of
Geez,
fun.
You've got some extravagant kitchen on Australia.
Weekend.
While he's waiting for the bloody coffee to
Right in.
I'm a well-oiled machine. I'm
So
running
is that just eggplant? Is that purely just eggplant?
Yeah. Well, there'll be
There'll be some
couple of-
flavouring in there.
there'll be know.
No mince, no other veggies.
No, there'll be other veggies in there, but
Oh, there are other veggies.
So you can't mention them to squeeze them in for the kids.
I'll see. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you have
They
to
don't know
sneak
what
'em.
they're eating.
No, well, that's
Is that like
right.
a meat substitute eggplant? Does it taste
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah, it's heavier. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
Is it
all
good
right.
for you? What's that like?
Yeah.
It'd be all
Calories
right
or
for
how
you.
the calories in that? I'll check my counter.
Righto. Well, now that we've seen that Dave's living the stereotypical Italian lifestyle at home, and
Ciao, mama.
Readie's got his 3 favourite ingredients going, we'll wrap this up. But that was good.
Yeah, good
That was
cross
good,
from
guys.
Buzz.
So,
Yeah.
Great cameo.
we'll
Not
might be
missing-
catching up with him next
not
week,
missing
actually.
Mick at
So.
all, are we? Mick,
Who?
Mick's not missed at all, yeah.
No, he's still
if
in.
you like pina coladas. He's on a beach somewhere.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care. No. Righto. Well, enjoy your week, and we'll talk more footy next week.
Thanks, Mobbsy.